Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Big week here for the markets. We have a holiday week, Jason. We were talking about going live on Thursday. Jason and I do the Gold Rush video every Thursday, and just happens to be Christmas this Thursday. So if any of you want to hear about commodities and what's going on in the commodities complex, let us know in the chat. We might go live on Christmas for you. Who knows? Anyways, Jason, we are here for Chart Request Live. This is the show where the audience brings the tickers and we provide the charts. I know we have a loaded mailbag full of tickers, and if you are wanting to get your ticker included in the next mailbag for Chart Request Live, you can send us an email, questions@stockmarketmedia.com. But for today, if you want us to cover your ticker, you can drop that in the YouTube chat. We are watching that. If you are on Twitter, I know there's a lot of you on Twitter watching this show. Come on over to YouTube so we can see your comments and the tickers that you want us to look at. But today, Jason, I don't know how we could start the show with anything other than gold.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Silver has been ripping, platinum has been ripping, palladium has been ripping, but gold has just been churning sideways here below this October peak. And now, today, you're getting a very decisive breakout candlestick for gold. Now you're getting fresh legs higher in all of the precious metals. You know, this has been going on for quite some time now, Jason. We're pushing 2 years now for this new secular bull market for precious metals. I know there's a lot of doubters out there, a lot of haters. You know, people are making too much money. This can't be sustainable. All of that nonsense. What do you say to the haters, Jason?
I say, hold that shit. That's really all it is. Hold that fucking
trail it with a stop.
Yes, trail it with a stop. Same thing I've said. We've been talking about this. Sam and I have been talking about this all year long. Trail with a stop. Don't do anything because, look, when you look at the structure of this market, you're looking at platinum, palladium, silver's outperforming the most. I think I didn't even look at it today. It was up over 110% last week. It's probably 113% today or something. You got platinum right behind that, up over 100%. You've got palladium right behind that. What is it, hitting 80% now? And then you have gold right behind that, over 60%. So, you know, this is a structural bull market. We've been talking about the fact that we want to see gold be the underperformer. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's going to mean gold's dead. No, what I've been saying the whole time, what Sam's been saying is that gold will still be in an uptrend, but silver will be in a massive outperforming uptrend. This year, we're seeing it. So I think this is going to continue into next year. I think at the very least over the next 2 months, we're going to see this rally kind of get out of hand. Sam, you know what's interesting I thought about today? You and I did a show not too long ago, and we talked about, you had your target of silver at 73, and you asked me, hey, do you think silver could hit that, and when do you think it? And I said possibly by year end. You know, so looking at silver by year end to hit $73, I think that's very possible. At the very least, it's going to happen around year end into January because we have the most bullish seasonality ever for precious metals around that period of time. Not to mention, everybody talks about the Santa rally for stocks. Let's remember this other thing. Santa rally is great for stocks, but even better for precious metals. So we'll talk to our Gold Rush.
And I think that has a lot to do with the weaker dollar. You know, the dollar tends to get slammed around this time, and that's kind of what causes this phenomenon of strong stocks and just risk assets in general. And you know, stocks love a weaker dollar, but precious metals and commodities love a weaker dollar even more. So I think that's important to remember. And the dollar is rolling over here at a key level of former support, now turned into resistance. So, you know, Jason, I heard you this morning on the morning show say you think the Dixie, the US dollar index, will hit 90 before the end of Q2 of next year.
Yes, I do. I fully believe this is a worse environment for the dollar. Everybody keeps getting kind of bullish on it every time it bottom ticks. I just don't see a scenario where the dollar is going to get really strong here. It'll have rallies. Nothing goes straight down, but my conviction will not change until the macro signals start to change. I haven't seen those changing yet, so I'm just going to continue to think The dollar is going to move down. We should be in the strong precious metal environment, international stocks, and so on. Everything that benefits from a weaker dollar should go up into the first half of 2026. So I think that's kind of be the scenario going forward.
Totally. I am here for it, Jason. All right, we've spent a few minutes going over our thoughts on the market. Let's get to what the people want to see. I know we have Jonathan. We have a few others in the chat here. I see you all. Thank you for being here. Drop your tickers in the chat and we will get to them later in the show. And of course, if you like this content that we are producing here at Stock Market Media, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another episode of Stock Market Media content. All right, Jason, what is first up in the mailbag today?
ATRO. So Jonathan's asking for ATRO.
Okay. ATRO. What is this?
I have no idea. I've actually heard of it. I feel like it's
yeah. Aerospace and defense. I think small cap aerospace and defense, $2 billion in market capitalization. They are doing some different systems for aerospace and defense from the great state of New York. And yeah, Jason, I think we need to zoom out. This is one of those charts where, you need to zoom out, put things in context. And so ATRO peaked, made an all-time high in the middle of 2015, and it rolled over and died for a little bit. Let's see how severe this drawdown was. Looks like it fell, 90%. But it has come back to life. It has reclaimed this 61.8 retracement level of that entire collapse. So Jonathan, it seems to me like the risk is to the upside here with ATRO. So long as it holds above $50, I expect this one to continue climbing higher towards this 2015 peak at 77 and some change. But yeah, looks fantastic. ATRO, we can look at it relative to the ITA, which is the aerospace and defense benchmark, and see if you're getting some relative strength here. Let's see if my charts will load. Yeah, sure enough, you're not quite at the same level you are in absolute terms, but nonetheless, you're making new multi-year highs relative to the aerospace and defense peer group. So yeah, this is certainly a leader, and I like this stock a lot. Any thoughts on this, Jason?
I love the base. For me, that's the simplest way to trade that I think more people should figure out, which is looking at a base like that and just going, okay, I'm going to buy this thing. It doesn't really matter what else I think about it. If I think it's the best stock in the world, the worst stock in the world. And I always tell people there's a very simple way to think about trading, which is do the opposite of what you want to do, especially when you first start trading. When you first start trading, what you want to do is buy the low and try to bottom pick, and you see a big red candle and you feel like you're getting a discount. Do the opposite. Look at what Sam's drawing here. You could buy this thing right now, targeting 77. Now, it's just different than what everybody else is doing. You get a 50% move pretty quickly if you do that. Now, what is everybody else doing? Everybody else is waiting for the low to come in or something. But when you're in a rip-roaring bull market, you want to buy these breakouts, and these are going to possibly continue, and we'll probably look back at some of these targets and kind of laugh about them in a year or so. So I like the setup here. I think that base is beautiful. I think it's just going to continue, and there's a lot of momentum there, so I wouldn't go the other way on that freight train. I certainly wouldn't short that thing.
Totally, yeah. I think that's a great point you make, Jason. All the time you hear just buy low, sell high. And that's, if you're Warren Buffett and you're just trying to buy the entire company, maybe that's a good idea. But for the vast majority of people that are trying to trade the markets, that's a terrible idea. You want to buy high and you want to sell higher. And that's the exact setup here with ATRO. I love this. Thank you for bringing this along, Jonathan. I see Jonathan is in the YouTube chat, says he loves it when we come on here for Chart Request Live.
Awesome.
He also says this is the best year of his financial life by far. So that is awesome. I'm really happy to hear that. I know Jason's also putting up a banner year, so So
It's getting
yeah,
close, getting close. 176 today. I'm tired of counting it, honestly, but I'm trying to beat my best year as a manager. My best year managing funds was 179%. I'm trying to get that 180 this year, just so I could say it. Hey, I hit it. It doesn't really matter, honestly, at this point. We brought in a lot of money. We've been doing well for our clients. It's all that really matters. But for me, I'm competitive. I have a problem. So I'm going to be a psychopath basically until the first of the year.
I love that competitive side of you, Jason. All right, what do we have next?
So let's see, we didn't get a ton of write-ins, but we have a ton in the chat. So here we go. We got Hut. Hut is the next one, HUT. And if you guys are in the chat, feel free to drop them. We've got some time to get to your requests in the chat today. We usually do not. So definitely drop what you want us to bring up.
Can you repeat that ticker for me? Sorry.
HUT.
HUT, the Hut.
Yep, Hut.
Nice. Okay, this is
Java the Hut.
I'm not really familiar with this one. I know it's a Bitcoin miner, but I wish Louis were here because there's an interesting thing happening in the Bitcoin mining space where some of these stocks are hodling the Bitcoin and some of them are dumping the Bitcoin, and it certainly seems like the market is rewarding the companies that are not trying to be treasury companies. And also, you have a big theme in the Bitcoin miners where a lot of them are pivoting to more like AI data processing kind of stuff and backing away from Bitcoin mining. So I would like to start with looking at Hut relative to the Bitcoin mining group, WGMI. And yeah, wow, look at this, Jason. Quite the ramp you've seen here over the past few weeks.
The last candle's amazing.
Man, that's really impressive. Okay, all right. You have my attention, Mr. Hut.
That's this week's candle, correct? So it had to have a big day today.
Up a little 18% today.
Wow.
Nice move there. Wow. I wonder what's going on here. Is there some news? Let's see. Benchmark raises the price target. Okay, Hut is doing an AI data center deal. All right. This is what I was just talking about. So Hut is doing the right things fundamentally. The market absolutely loves that. You can see the stock and the shareholders are being rewarded very handsomely today. So let's see if we can get some levels to trade against here, Jason. And yeah, wow, this is nice. This might be the chart of the day. So Hut right here at this 61.8 retracement level, coming in at 52.5. So from there, the bias is higher towards 82.5, this November 2021 peak. You know, I think it gets there, but I think it could even break out to new all-time highs. Looking at 131 as that first extension level. So a ton of potential upside here. And we can zoom into the daily candlesticks, get a little bit more tactical with it now that we have those high time frame levels to lean against. And we
got a nice flag.
Yeah, a little trend line here. You know, I'm not Mr. Diagonal trend line guy or anything, but I see it. I see you, Hut, breaking this multi-week downtrend line. And we could even drop the WAP. I bet it comes in right here at 44.75. Let's see if I'm right. Very close. All right, so above 44, I like Hut a lot. And you could even, you know, this is a big move for the Hut, up 18% today. You know, maybe you get some upside follow through tomorrow and you test this October 15th high at 57. So I'd like to see that first. Maybe it consolidates here for a few days. You get a little high and tight bull flag, and then you buy the resolution from this range. I would like that more. You know, it's kind of a risky entry here at this point. You know, I don't love that aspect of it. So for that reason, I'd rather buy it on strength out of this range, because, you know, if I were to buy it today, I'd have to set my stop here. You know, maybe this gap would be my stop at $44. maybe, I mean, if you size the position right, I mean, theoretically, you could have your stop all the way down here at like 31 and a half, because really that would invalidate the bullish thesis here if it rolled over and took that low out. But yeah, structurally, this hut looks fantastic. Looks like the next big winner in the Bitcoin mining space.
No, I like that one. That's a great chart. Great one to bring up, guys. So
Who brought this one along, Jason?
This was, let me see, because it's in the chat.
It's a front runner for chart of the day.
Where is Hut? Oh, there it is. It is. I am not going to butcher that name, honestly. It's a V and a P and a 1578. So there's a lot there going on.
Shout out to the V and the P.
VP 1578, you're the best.
I love it. Great chart here. I love it so much.
So next one we got Tiger, TIGR.
Okay, I also like the Tiger. You know, not a great setup here, kind of messy, but you know, the Tiger is like the Robin Hood of Asia, coming in at $1.6 billion in market capitalization.
It's all about the animal heads, man. When you get into a bull market, the animal heads get pretty big there.
That's exactly right, Jason. Yeah.
If you guys been on Spaces, you'll see a lot more animal heads the more bullish the market gets. So that so does true. Happen too. Yep.
All right, Jason. Let's see if we can get a nice Fibonacci retracement level here. As you saw, I had some WAPs dropped earlier, and yeah, I think the move here, for me, I'd like to buy this one on strength above this pivot high from October 2024, which comes in around $15. You know, structurally, that would really change this in a very bullish way. So that would put the finishing touches on this massive bearish to bullish reversal pattern where the stock collapsed, let's see, like 94%. So this one's really coming back from the dead. I think Mr. Kenny Glick calls this the old Andy Dufresne pattern. You know, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful chart here. So breakout above this 14 would get you to this high from February 2021 around $38. So, you know, more than a double there. But I think it needs more time. And if you want to jump the entry, you know, this is not something I'm interested in jumping, but I think if you have a reason to be bullish on Tiger, which I'm not really crazy about the China right now. I know some people are out there, like on our analyst team chat the other day, we were talking about Asia, and some of the analysts at All Star Charts were getting bulled up on the Asia, but I don't see it, Jason. I need to see more from something like China. It's been a disappointing trade lately. So if you want to jump this entry above that $14 level we were talking about earlier, you could use this VWAP from the August 25th pivot high, which comes in around 10 and a half. So yeah, I think there's still room to let this one dance, but as I mentioned before, structurally set up to be very, very bullish. Give it another few weeks, few months. Yeah.
Give it some patience. Yeah, give it some patience. It's always hard when you're a trader and you're looking at these markets and you're like, hey, like for example, Sam's going, okay, well, wait for this move, and some people would go, well, Sam, you know, we're talking about like a 50% move, and then a breakout. Why wouldn't I just be in it now? And the answer is that most of the time before you actually get a breakout, you're going to deal with drawdowns, frustration, and then you're going to doubt yourself. You're probably going to be out of the trade before the breakout even happens. But if you wait for the breakout, and we're traders, we're not here to hold on to this thing for the next 20 years. We're trying to trade it, have it get some momentum and make some money. So if you wait for this thing to break out and give it the time to do so, it's usually going to be a much smoother trend that's going to be in a strong uptrend when it really breaks out. And so I think Sam's exactly right. Wait for those levels, let it dance, and then when it breaks out, that's when you want to own this thing.
Totally, Jason. Well said. Yeah. Patience pays. You know, like right now, the path of least resistance for the stock, in my opinion, is sideways. You know, this is just a big, fat, rangy mess. So it's nothing I'm too excited about. But a breakout above 14, I'm certainly a buyer of the Tiger. I think this one could really move. So yeah. Who brought this one along?
That was, let's see. Tiger was Eric. Eric brought this one. So thank you,
Eric.
Eric. Yeah,
All
interesting
right.
chart. Yeah.
All right.
Not
And I
quite
want to take
chart
a
of the
quick look
day
at China.
yet.
I mentioned China earlier.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. This is just it's just not that exciting. This is just a rangy, big, fat mess. And if you look at something like China relative to the SPX, the S&P 500, it just keeps underperforming. It's just been a straight downtrend since Q1 of this year. So, I know there are reasons to be fundamentally bullish on China. I hear the arguments all the time, but the market's not agreeing with that right now. Until proven otherwise, this is a top in relative terms, and I expect China to continue to underperform capitalism. So capitalism greater than communism.
That's true. Great way of putting that, because that's something that everybody should keep in mind at all times in their life.
Totally.
So next chart, let's see here. What do we got? So we had Tiger. Then we have HPC.
Let's see what the HPC is. This is an energy stock, right? Yeah, $2.4 billion energy stock. I think I'm looking at the wrong exchange. Let's look at it. I don't know what the GetX exchange is. Are you familiar with that one, Jason?
I am not.
I know you trade a lot of exchanges.
I trade a lot of exchanges, and I have no idea what that is. Like, I've never even heard of this name. He said HPC AI plays. So it's some probably AI stock of some sort. I'm just not sure.
Helmerich and let's see. Okay, there it is. HP. HP is the ticker for the New York Stock Exchange. So let's look at this one instead. So this is a contact drilling stock, one of the most risk-on energy stocks out there. You can see since this stock bottomed in August of this year, it's pretty much doubled, just in a straight line higher here. So, if you're looking for an offensive vehicle to play oil and gas, I don't think this is a terrible vehicle. Now, in the short term, I'm kind of concerned about running into all of this former support. So let me draw a nice little horizontal line here so you can see what I'm talking about. So you can see that in May of 2023, this $30 level was support. It turned into support again in September of 2024. And now you're back at the scene of the crime. You're seeing the sellers step in a pretty significant way. So a few weeks ago, you had a nice little shooting star candlestick, which was followed through the next week. And now the sellers are trying to drag it lower again. So, I think it needs time to absorb all of these bag holders from a few years ago. But I think a breakout above this $30 level could really set this thing off and shift the bias higher towards this shelf of former highs around 54. So let's see if there's a VWAP that comes in around this level. Yeah, all right. I knew it. So yeah, I think you could just use price. I don't think you need the VWAP there. Just use $30 as that entry there. And I think if you want to drop the WAP from this pivot high, when you first hit this resistance back on December 11th. So until you see a close above this level, this, let's call it 28.5, I think the sellers are in control of the short-term trend, and you're likely to continue to see some sellers. Maybe you get HP down to 25. I don't know. Anything's possible here, but I think it needs more time, and an eventual breakout above 30 would be really sweet.
Actually, we came to this as a happy accident. BW actually mentioned, so sorry about that, guys. I'm not the most I'm not great with acronyms, I'll tell you that much, but he said it's high performance computing AI plays is what he meant. But I also want to say I really like that we brought up this chart. There's something kind of
Yeah.
interesting happening here, and I'd love to see some consolidation here and a breakout at some point, getting up and over the VWAP or over that major resistance level. I think there's definitely a play here and definitely some money to be made. So I definitely put this on everybody's radar and just put an alert. You know, you get over these levels that Sam's talking about, be ready to buy this thing.
Yeah, okay, so high performance computing. Let's see. I'm reading BW's chat here.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
That's
Sam-
interesting. Okay, so HUT is a high performance computing stock, not really a Bitcoin miner anymore. That's interesting. This HUT. Yeah, really interesting play here. And, you know, some of the biggest winners since the tariff dump earlier this year have been in the Bitcoin mining space. So let me just pull up on my other screen here, WGMI, and I will, let's see, let's do year-to-date returns. So the biggest winner in the Bitcoin mining space has been the IREN, up 322% this year. And, you know, this is the kind of move I'm talking about. Like, the HUT has the potential to do what IREN did recently. So from that April 2025 low, the IREN rallied like 1,400%, just in a straight vertical line higher. So you can see that these re-ratings of these stocks can be quite dramatic and fast and very aggressive. Not at all something you want to be short. So yeah, the HUT. I'm gonna go ahead and call it, Jason. This is the chart of the day right here. HUT.
So far, it's been the chart of the day for sure. So Jonathan brought up a great one, and you're gonna love this one too. Is Platinum long term? Wants to see like how we're looking at this long term.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk to our Gold Rush members about this today, Jason. So I don't want to give everything away, but man, Platinum looking really, really nice here. Let me redraw some lines here. So I think this 2011 peak is a really big one. And look at this candlestick you're putting in for the month of December. That's what the kids call a God candle, Jason. Clearing a key shelf of former highs with authority. And I think the bias is now higher towards this 2008 peak at 2,300, and I don't think the Platinum's going to stop there. I think Platinum is going to 3,000, to be honest with you. I think we could fib out this base right here from this 2011 peak to the 2020 drawdown, and looking at 27 and a half as that first target on the Platinum futures. I'm not sure if we have all the data here on TradingView. Let's see how much data we have. Yeah, my Optima has more data, so you can go back to like the 1980s, and I have some Fibonacci extension levels drawn there. And I'm sharing those levels with Gold Rush Premium members today. So yeah, if you haven't joined All-Star Charts Gold Rush, I don't know what you're doing. Your life has gone horribly wrong. Check it out. Look up allstarcharts.com Gold Rush. Check out what we do there. We're crushing it, Jason, right?
We're absolutely crushing it. The precious metals market has been in the most bullish market that we've seen in many, many years, and we've been taking advantage of it in many.
And I think
ways.
it's important to remember, like, not to confuse brains with the bull market. You know, Jason and I aren't the smartest people. We'll be the first to admit that, but we respect the market, we respect price, and I think that's very important, and that has got us into some of the biggest trades in precious metals over the past, call it 18 months, that this secular bull market has been going on in precious metals. We've had numerous stocks rise by more than 100%. I think we've had like a 500% winner in there. So yeah, precious metals are like the gift that just keeps on giving, and Platinum certainly is in that same category, looking fantastic here. Up another 4% today, by the way. Ton of relative strength here.
Yeah, I just continue to think that it's just a bull market here. You know, as Sam said, you know, I don't think it's not about being smart. Trading is not about being the smartest guy in the room. Trader Vic and I had a very interesting conversation years ago talking about PhDs and so on. And the guy hired a bunch of traders. The guy's been around traders. I mean, the guy's been trading for, God, he's got to be 70 to 80 years old now. I don't even know Victor Sprandio's age these days. But he's talked about the fact that when you're really smart and you're out trying to outthink the market, most of the time you don't make any money. But when you disrespect the price action, you put on the trades, you follow the intermarket analysis, the relative strength, and so on, which is what Sam and I do, you end up catching a lot of really great moves, and you don't overthink it. And that's simply what we do here very well, and I think better than anybody else.
Totally, Jason. Yeah. That's a great point you make there. Even the best traders in the world will tell you that. And I certainly put you in that category, Jason.
Well, thank you. I think
Victor Sprandio
is definitely one of those, more than anybody I've ever met in my life, so like looking at that guy, thinking about what he says, I think everybody should take that to heart and stop overthinking the market, look at the price action, take the trades, and then invalidate the trades when they're not working. So let's see. Next one we have.
I see Jonathan's a member of Gold Rush. Says he loves it. Worth every penny of the subscription price. That's what I'm talking about, Jonathan. Thank you for the kind words.
Love it. So next one is Cipher, CIFR.
All right, Jason. Let's finish with this one. Another Bitcoin mining stock. That's not really a Bitcoin mining stock. More of who said that? The BW said it's a high performance computing stock. I like that. I like that a lot. An interesting way to play the AI revolution. Cypher, this is kind of interesting. What was that?
Wavy is celebrating that silver is at $69. So thank you, Wavy. Much appreciated that. I was thinking that this morning. I was like, I want to say something about this, and then I forgot to say something about it because we started talking about other things. But man, yeah, that's funny. $69 for silver. Let's get to 73. That's what Sam and our target was for year end. Just a little bit more. Maybe we can get there. Maybe it pulls back. Either way, it's been a hell of a year. I'm happy with where it's at anyways.
Totally, Jason. Yeah. Such a beast, this silver. And all those momentum gurus out there, they keep telling me it's too overbought. It can't keep going up.
Nothing can happen. Yeah, I love when people say that can't happen. Like number one, like anything can happen in the market. The market likes to make a fool out of all of us all the time. So as long as it's doing that, I have to keep an open, which it always has and always will. I have to keep a very open mind to the fact that sometimes I'm going to be very wrong about what I think about the markets. And the best thing I can do is do the opposite of what everybody does. Buy high, sell higher. That's really the goal of us here. And not to mention like catching the meat of these moves. I don't care to catch silver perfectly when it hit $10. That'd be nice. Maybe that might be a scenario where I'll buy some physical or something. But if I want to catch the meat of the move, if that's from $20 all the way to 60, 70, I'm really happy. That's great. So that's the way you trade. That's the way you make money. And that's what we continue to do in this precious metals bull market.
Totally. I forget who said it, but somebody, I think maybe it was in a Market Wizards book, that the mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open.
Yes.
You reminded me of that.
Yes.
Such a great quote.
One.
Yeah,
that's
it's
a great
important
one.
to keep an open mind in the markets and not overthink something silly like momentum. Just follow the price. Keep it simple. And looking at the price on Cipher, you can see that back in October, you broke out to new all-time highs, clearing this SPAC mess from back in 2021. And you hit that first Fibonacci extension level, kissed it almost perfectly, and got absolutely slammed the next week, down 30%. So the sellers did not hesitate to pull the trigger. They got out, but you've seen the buyers have continued to support the Cipher here at around $15, turning all of this former resistance into support here. So I think if you want to swing at the Cipher, lean against this $15. You could use these pivot lows around 13, which coincides with this March 2021 peak. It looks like to the very penny. So this is quite the clean. This is what we talk about when we mention polarity. It's one of the most important principles to understand in technical analysis, is that former resistance, once broken, turns into support and vice versa. That's exactly what you've seen here in Cypher. So as long as it holds above this $13 level, I like it towards this 24.5 level. And if you get to 34 or 24.5, I have a hard time thinking it's not going to break out and make a run towards $40. So, this could be a huge winner. It certainly already has been. So since the April low, Cypher has rallied about, call it 1,300%, just in a straight vertical line higher. So pretty textbook consolidation here. And I like this a lot. This also could be classified as a chart of the day, Jason, but we'll stick with the HUT.
I think HUT was good. You made a little early call, Sam. You made an early call, but yeah. I think you were right still. I'll stick with the HUT.
Totally. I love it. All right. Well, this was an awesome episode of Chart Request Live. It's not often I get to do this with you, Jason. This was an extra special treat for me. So
as always, man, it's always fun hanging out, man, and always fun doing charting with you. Sam's one of the best chartists out there, so it's also awesome to just see what he does and learn how to do it. And that's basically what I think everybody should really take from the show when they're watching these things is this is how you set up your charts. Nobody really does it better than Sam, so definitely check it out. Make sure to learn some stuff, write it down, and go do it for yourself.
Totally, Jason. I totally agree. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Jonathan, you are just too kind. Happy holidays, Jonathan. I hope you enjoy it and get to spend lots of time with your family because family is very important. That's important to remember, in my opinion, at least. Some people would disagree with me, Jason, but
I mean, it depends on, you choose your own family, right? Like at the end of the day, it's like maybe some people have some issues with their family. Maybe some people have some problems. That's fine. But there's plenty of people that are just my friends that are family too. So,
totally. We have a nice family here at Stock Market Media.
Yes, we do. And I would love to have everybody over for the holidays if anybody lived anywhere near me.
You could get Louis to come in from New Zealand.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Jonathan, Wavy McFly, BW, all of you, thank you very much for being here. We will be back with another episode of Chart Request Live next Monday, same time, same place. And if we did not get to your ticker today in the YouTube chat, please do not hesitate to email us at questions@stockmarketmedia.com. We will get to it in the next episode. And of course, I'd be remiss not to remind you to like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can continue to bring you awesome content here on Stock Market TV. And I want to wish everybody happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. It's been a banner 2025, Jason. We've been very blessed with fantastic financial markets. So fingers crossed that 2026 will be the same.
Well, let's get to the end of this year. That's the thing. I can't call it yet, but I got to get to the end of this year and then we'll start all over again. Sure. But, I think things will continue into next year with the way momentum is looking. So we'll see. Santa Rally holds on for precious metals, stocks, and so on. I think we're going to continue this in the next year.
I hope so, Jason. I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. We will catch you on the flip side. Adios.
Later, guys.